So hello guys, welcome back to my channel, and today's feature I'm gonna review this 2022 Honda Civic V Turbo. Sorry, there's a lot of variants of this 11th gen Honda Civic. What I'm gonna showcase here in the showroom first is the V variant, but the test drive unit will be an RS variant. Okay, first impressions immediately on this 11th gen. I like the look. I mean, it won't be as good as the 10th generation in my opinion. For me, that's the best looking Civic. So here in the exterior of the Honda Civic V variant, as you can see, there is a lot going on, and you have LED lights here all around. Even the turn signals are all LED, fog lamps as well. Plastic here around the fog lamps, but it's fine. And then as you can see, ground clearance pretty decent. It's 134 millimeters, just one less than the Honda CT. And then the front, it does give out like a bottle nose look, but I don't mind it. And then black finishes here on the grille, and again here on the front bumper, some of it. Also, this is way wider than the 10th generation itself, and it kind of gives it a wide body look. Although I can't wait on how the Civic Type R will look like. But let's focus here first on the V and RS variants. Also, hopefully as well, I will drive a Civic S, that's the base variant. Hopefully I will be able to review that soon as well. Yeah, so front profile, pretty standard. I like it. Also, wheels for this V variant also look pretty decent. Side profile of the Honda CT. So side profile here in the Honda Civic, as you can see, there are clean and nice character lines. One line here above, and then as well one down here in the door below. And then side skirt, okay, pretty clean as well. There's not like much of a protrusion here and there. It's just a clean look. And also side mirrors, you have LED repeaters on the side. It's also finished with this matte black. And then on the side mirror itself, it's a bit blacker than usual, than like on this part. And also being wider, you also have little bit bigger doors than usual than the previous generation. So here, the rear of the Honda Civic V, well, they look almost exactly the same from the S and the V. I'll know with the RS Turbo yet. Like literally, I have not seen an RS Turbo yet. You have massive brake lights here. They're all LED as well. And also what's nice, Honda didn't even try to make fake vents here whatsoever. It's just matte black finishes here. And then the real exhaust is just down here. Oh, so it's a dual exhaust. So you have both on each side. Then opening up the boot is pretty simple. Like the S variant, this V variant, the total space is 497 liters of space. That's 2 more than the RS variant, because unlike the RS variant, this V and S variant doesn't have a subwoofer. But as you can see, you can store a lot of things in here, and there's also space saver spare tire underneath. And you have a trunk light as well here. And also like the Honda CT RS, you can fold down the seats here. I know you can do this as well in the Honda Civic S. I'll know in the future. So yeah, that's about it with the exterior and the boot of the Honda Civic. So I'll show you the interior. So this is the interior of the Honda Civic V Turbo. With door tab, sounds solid. There's also a nice animation when you get in the car, in the digital display there in the middle. This is also what's nice with the current Civic lineup. Throughout the lineup, it gets Honda sensing. So there's a lot of safety features. So even though you have the base variant, you will still have the Honda sensing. From the base variant, I sat in that already, and this V variant, they look pretty similar. The interior, the layout, and then the digital display as well there in the middle. Here in the middle variant, comparison with the S variant, the base model, surprisingly feels similar, so not bad on that S variant. I'll give my thoughts as well on that S variant. Materials here are pretty plush. Okay, let's get this out of the way. Everything is fabric. I'm not sure with the RS variant, but I'll know later. But this fabric seats, it's pretty comfortable to sit here. Okay, nice bolstering here and there. The seats feel a bit sporty despite being fabric. Materials here in the door. There's a massive gloss black piece here, so you can see plastic here and there, but I forgive it. You have fabric soft pads here, just behind the window switches. And I just found out how to open the boot. It's just a bit in front of the window switches. Also, I like how the window switches are laid out. It's a bit more angular, so ergonomics will be a bit easier to reach. And then also you have cubby spaces and a bottle holder on either side of the door. Speaker setup as well. They're nice honeycomb design. And then my water jug. Okay, it kind of fits, but maybe when you drive a bit faster, it might fall out. And then cup holders here in the middle. There are plastic grips around them. Kind of hard getting out. Maybe it's just my water jug, but they fit either way. And then going back here, in the steering wheel, I love the material of the steering wheel. This polyurethane steering wheel has nice squish on it. Actually feels lovely to the touch. And you have gloss back below here, and you have your usual controls here as well for your cruise control and then for your volume controls. And then here on the left side, there are two blank buttons here. Also, these air conditioning vents are so lovely to use. Can you hear that? It's like a toggle for a missile. That sounds so cool. Also, there's nice honeycomb pattern. Even for this small vent on the left. The one that caught my eye really is the one here in the center console. All the way to the passenger side. It's one long piece. And yes, there's gloss back here and there, but I forgive it. It does look nice at least. And then material here in the dashboard. Okay, it's leather, but it's more of the durable side. And also for your instrument cluster, you have a digital display on the left and then an analog speedometer on the right side. I think that also goes for the S variant. And like the S variant, this has a 7-inch infotainment system, but at least all of the variants, even the RS, have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto as standard. But for the RS variant, you get a 9-inch infotainment system. Moving here in the center console, you have knobs here, nice chrome knobs for your air conditioning vents, then mixed with physical buttons. Start-stop button here, wrapped in gloss black. You might clean that a lot, to be honest. And then below here, you have a cubby space that fits actually phones. You can fit literally 2 phones here, and then one USB port, and then one 12-volt socket here. It's just a little bit of a nitpick of mine. I just wish this USB port was here on the left side rather than right beside the 12-volt socket. But anyway, it's fine. And then here where your gear lever is, notice it's more here on the driver's side than rather being in the middle. But really, this variant doesn't have manual mode. So it maybe have been placed for a manual transmission that sadly we don't get in our Philippine market. But at least quality here and there. Like the center console is not wobbling that much. It's not like some like Toyota or Nissan, just being honest. And then you have one blank button here. I assume this is your sport button in the RS. I'll check that out as well later. But you have an icon button here, and then you have an electronic parking brake button, and then your auto hold function, but it says here brake hold. And then I showed you earlier, there are 2 cup holders, but nice plastic texture here in the center console. It's trying to imitate a carbon fiber weave, but it works. And then seats, yeah, everything's manually adjusted here for the S and this V variant. And then center console box, I also like this. It's fabric with the white stitching, similar with the seats. Open it up. Okay, pretty decent size. There's also this thing again. I keep forgetting what this is. You can adjust them if you want it in the rear or at the front, at least. For my driving position only, and I'm 5'4" by the way, I noticed opening the center console box is a bit of a stretch for me. Like, I have to move my arm all the way back, and the buttons kinda far reach. But it's worse in my own car. Just something I noticed only. And also glove box. Okay, it's weirdly designed but pretty decent. Dome lights above here. They're small but they're powerful. They're LED. And then visor. There's a vanity mirror. I can't open it. It's wrapped in plastic. Also nice fabric here. Materials here in the ceiling. There's another LED dome light as well here. No, they don't extend, but the visor is thick enough, and it's really big. So I don't see the need for an extension anyway. So okay, it's fine. Also, you can lock the car from the passenger side. So that's about here in front of the Honda Civic V variant. I'll show you the rear seats. So here, the rear of the Honda Civic V. And unlike in the front door, this part is now matte black. It's not gloss black anymore. This part now is plastic, but this one still retains the fabric part. And I also noticed going in the car, I mean, egress, I finally got that word right. It's okay, but I did notice for your feet, there's like a big hump here. And it's also, there's plastic. So watch out for that. So you might tend to slip a bit when you go in here. But I saw it the first time, so I had no issue getting in. Almost same layout with the front door, with the angled switch here. And also, unlike in front, you have a bottle holder instead here. Now, my water jug fits here way better than in front for some reason. You still have a speaker right here, but there's also one more small one right here above, beside the door handle. And then sitting here in the rear of the Honda Civic, it's the same throughout the lineup because I already sat in the S variant. Probably one of the most comfortable I've sat in. Yes, this fabric seat itself, but it's perfectly reclined. So you can just lean in long tips. You'll be so comfortable here in the back. Also lumbar support, pretty perfect as well. And also you have two isofix anchor points on each side, and then you have a central armrest here, easy to get out. Then you have two cup holders, one small one, one big one. The big one fits my water jug just perfectly. And also nice design, that's why it doesn't need the strap anymore for to pull it. There's like a little space here to just to mush your fingers in between and then pull this down. That's a nice touch. And then here in the back, and as you can see, feet room, knee room is excellent. Headroom though, yes, the 11th gen has a bit more of a slope than the 10th gen, I assume. I've never sat in the 10th gen, FYI. But for me, 5'4", I have this much space, like 3 inches. I'll be happy to sit here. Although 5'5", 5'6", might just be just alright here. Anyone above that, it might be a bit of a struggle. And also a few more toys here. You have massive seat pockets on each side of the seat. And unlike the base variant, the S variant, this V variant and the RS variant has rear air conditioning vents. So that's a nice addition for the middle variant as well. And also there's a weird space there, so I assume there are buttons there. I'll know in the RS variant if there are really buttons there. Then transmission tunnel. Okay, it's a bit high, and the seat here in the middle is a bit elevated, so sitting here in the middle, it's just a bit firmer sitting here in the middle. The transmission tunnel, yes, it won't get in the way. It's surprisingly narrow, but I recommend don't put your feet up. I mean, it's fine. As you can see, my knees already risen up a bit, but it won't get in the way that much. At least it's narrow. But my headroom now, though, back, and you have 2 inches left of headroom. Sitting 3 people here in the Honda Civic is okay. Just watch out for the person sitting here in the middle. Make sure they're not too tall. So that's about here in the rear of the Honda Civic. I'll show you the engine. So this is the engine of the Honda Civic. The entire lineup have this engine already. It's a 1.5 liter single scroll turbocharged 4-cylinder engine that produces 176 horsepower and 240 Newton meters of torque. And unlike the 10th generation Honda Civic, the base variant was only a naturally aspirated engine. So it's good to know the S variant, the base variant, also has this engine right now. So it got me thinking, of course, I will be driving the RS variant in a bit, but it got me thinking if the S variant is a bit more worth it. I mean, for what it is, you have this engine already. So I'll give my thoughts on that soon. Also, 0 to 100 kilometers per hour. The official time, by the way, is 7.5 seconds. But I've seen some reviews, real world testing, it's around 8 seconds. So that, in fact, is still very, very peppy. So I can't wait to try it out on how this performs. So with that, let's go for a drive.
2 weeks later.
Now, this is the one I'm be driving. This is the Honda Civic RS variant. And as you can see, a few differences here and there. Of course, you have the RS badge now. And blacked out side mirrors. And then the rear, somewhat the same. You have the RS badging. Also, you have the nice gloss black spoiler. And wheels also, they're just black, but they look awesome. And boot space with this RS variant. You still have the folding seat mechanism here. And also this is only 2 liters less than the V variant and the S variant because you have a subwoofer somewhere here. That's actually a space saver spare type, but it looks exactly the same. And then the interior, very few differences. Oh, nice red accent here. It's a gloss black, but it's fine. And also, unlike the S and the V variant, this is leather seats mixed with Alcantara or suede material. Okay, they feel nice already. And then I didn't demo this with the V variant, but let's start her up. The start stop also illuminates. Ooh. Also, being the RS variant, you have paddle shifters. I cannot wait to try this out. And this is the infotainment system. Also, this is 9 inches now compared to the 8 inches of the S and V variant. That's really crisp. Look at that. Vehicle setting. Oh yes, this has a lot of safety features. The Honda sensing. Please refer back to the spec sheet. There are a lot of them. And also, I like you have physical buttons still here for the infotainment system. Navigation. Okay, just a little bit of delay with the navigation only, as you can see, but the rest seem fine. Weirdly, I will leave that there for the fuel meter for obvious reasons. And also, let's turn now the reverse camera. Okay, that looks really pixelated. However, I'll take that any day. You can zoom in though. That's yeah, I don't mind the reverse camera. At least there is. And also, just notice now. Look at the red start-stop button. It's red. That is very lovely. And also, before I forget, the RS gets an additional sport mode now. That sounds very Gran Turismo like. Okay, let's start with eco mode. Before we set up, I noticed something immediately. Okay, sorry for the aircon, I just letting the cabin cool down. It got so cold really fast. I like this air conditioning system. The infotainment system. Okay, it's dead center. Like, it faces, everyone can see it. However, where I'm sitting only, I notice it's kinda like too center. It's not angled to me. That's something to take note only for future owners. And also, when I turned on the air conditioning system, this is such a cool feature. Of course, these are knobs. I love that sound also. There's also a little digital screen in between. I love that. Yeah, let's go. This is a bit special for me. I've never ever driven a Civic before, and yet I'm gonna drive the new one. Before we go to the highway, let's try its suspension. Okay, I can feel already it's very sporty. Yeah, you can feel the bumps and humps. I mean, already a rough patch of road. You can feel it, but let's give it a chance. I mean, it's supposed to be a sporty car in the first place. So U-turn test. I mean, just in eco mode. Also, nice sounding indicator. The turning radius is just a little bit wide, but it's very easy to drive. Also in eco mode, the steering, look at that. Very darty, very light steering wheel. And here over a bump, let's start it out. Okay, soaks them up pretty well as well. Just watch out for your ground clearance. It may not be the tallest, but just watch out for that. And also, I noticed the rear visibility is not that great. I'll just be honest with that. And here, why not? Eco mode, let's go. Oh! Wow! Oh wow! That safety feature, wow. There's also a cornering camera for this. And also, I noticed immediately, I'm just traveling around 30 kilometers per hour. You can hear a bit of tire noise. Yes, these are on Michelin's. Just, I mean, it's still okay. The NVH is great. I mean, if you heard as well earlier on the highway, it's very good. Just the tire noise is just noticeable. Going over humps and bumps is very smooth as well. Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure if you can hear that on camera. Just 30 kilometers per hour. There's a little bit of tire noise. And you have to do siete on humps just ever so slightly. And also did not engage manual mode on a standstill. I was still in eco mode. But once you get up to speeds, manual mode will engage if you pull down the paddle. I love the drive mode selector sound. I mean, it sounds like you're in a game, like you're playing Gran Turismo. Okay, normal mode tends to respond just a little bit better now. So of course, normal one will be the best balance between sport mode and eco mode. Let's go to the highway now. Let's put it in sport mode. And also the 0 to 100 kph for this Honda Civic variants is 7.5 seconds. But I've seen some reviews in real world, it's around 8 seconds. But still, that's pretty fast. And also probably the fastest in its class, if not mistaken. You cannot get a manual anymore with the Civic, but this CVT is still great. Let's go. Whoa! Whoa! Okay, chill down. The sport mode already, it wants to keep on going already. And like every Honda I've driven, yep, still the best CVT out there. It shifts up and down pretty well. There's also like, it's trying to mimic engine braking. Look, I'll shift down to first gear. You can feel it ever so slightly. Wow! Oh, gosh. This is so fun to try. CVTs are not my type of transmission of choice. However, this Honda Civic is very, very lovely. Wow! Wow, I love this. Yeah, and also I noticed in normal and sport mode, the steering gets heavier ever so slightly. Sport mode, you can feel the weight of the steering wheel even more now. This steering, yes, it may be only an EPS system, but there's still good amount of weight. Sport mode, yes, hands down the best. And also if you're taking corners really fast, if you saw earlier, there's not much body roll. It's like little to no body roll whatsoever. Yes, this is the most fun and sportiest to drive in its class. I've driven most of the competition already, like Corolla Altis Hybrid. The Lamando though, that is it. I think this is its biggest competitor. Yes, that has a dual clutch transmission, but power-wise in a straight line, this will eat a Lamando for breakfast. And this is only a CVT. Although, with my driving, it comes at a cost though. Of course, if you're heavy-footed like me, I've been doing 5.9 kilometers per liter. However, I did drive this a little bit earlier, just light-footed. You can go as high as 8.3 kilometers per liter. So the CVT is doing a good job. You have suede seats now with this, leather and suede seats now with this Civic Rs. There is not much bolstering, and there's a little bit lack of lumbar support. I mean, I do have to sit all the way back so I don't fly around. I mean, look, being the sportiest in its class, you can feel the suspension is firm. I'll go to that bumpy route again. Yeah, just watch out for that. I mean, it's no means an uncomfortable car, but for the trade-off for firm suspension, this is one of the best driver's cars in its class, I must say. Although I have yet to drive a Civic Type R though. I can't wait for the 2023 Civic Type R though. I cannot imagine how that will be like. Despite the firm suspension, it's very tolerable. I mean, it's still a comfortable car to say the least. This will be a great daily. And also the this turbocharged engine is pretty crazy as well. Yes, although this RS variant, the top of the line, comes at the price. It's 1,698,000 pesos. Yeah, it is quite steep, but you're getting a lot for your money. All the tech, the safety. This RS is worth it. Although, hopefully coming soon to my channel, I'll drive a base variant as well. I want to see how that compares to this one. Yes, the V variant will be the best of both worlds. I highly recommend this RS variant. Oh, this is just normal mode. Here's the bumpy part. Yeah, it even though it's firm, it's still composed. It's just like jittery only. This is so fun to drive. And overtaking, as usual, is so easy. Wow. Oh my gosh, I never thought I'd drive a Civic, yet alone an RS variant. This is so much fun to drive. Wow, you get to high speeds really, really quickly. Woo! So yeah, that concludes my review of this Honda Civic Rs. I would like to thank Sir Angelo Paredes and Honda Makati for allowing me to review this Honda Civic Rs Turbo. I gotta give it back before I wanna take this home. So hope you guys like and subscribe, and I will see you with more future car reviews. Bye bye.